the other day, I walked up to the refrigerator to get something out. I opened it up, and when I did, I saw a sticky note. Well, I looked at it, and on the sticky note, this is what it said. It said, "This is not Dad's." At our house, there may be a dad who likes to eat things that may not be for him. And there may be some children who have figured this out and gotten smart. And so they've started putting sticky notes on things to lay claim on what is theirs. Now, this is not uncommon. We've seen this in workplace refrigerators all over. People that are laying claim on their food because there is some sneaky coworker who goes in there when they're hungry and just eats whatever they find. It's a mindset that most of us really, it makes sense to us. It's mine. I brought it. I own it. So it's mine. I'll put my name on it. But when we get to our passage today in Acts chapter 4, we find that the people of God, God's church, the early church, they didn't have this mindset. So we're in Acts chapter 4, starting in verse 32, and check out what was happening in the early church. It says, "Now the entire group of those who believed were of one heart and mind, and no one claimed that any of his possessions was his own, but instead they held everything in common. With great power, the apostles were giving testimony to the resurrection of the Lord Jesus, and great grace was on all of them." The passage continues on to talk about the unity that the early church had. But I really got stuck when I read the phrase, "and no one claimed that any of his possessions was his own." You know, that it makes perfect sense. It happens in my house. It happens probably in your house. But too often, it also happens in the church. We lay claim on what is ours instead of realizing that as a body, as a family, that we share everything in common. But there's times when unity is missing, when we hold tight to the things that we believe belong to us, and we don't have open hands to say, "Hey, here's what I can bring so that we can all share it in common." Is there something that you're holding as your own? Maybe you've put a sticky note on your bank account, on your time, on the resources of your home, or something else, your car, something that you have that we could share and have everything in common to the benefit of God's church and to the glory of his name. Let me encourage you. Other people may not be doing it, but we're called as Christ followers to walk a different way. Not put sticky notes on our things, but to share everything in common. I love you, church, and I hope that you'll have a happy Wednesday.